Harriet Beecher Stowe is really the epitome of the power of voice. Harriet writes the most important anti-slavery novel ever, and yet she's a white woman who grew up in New England. So how was she able to accomplish this task? It's because of the 18 years that she lived here in Cincinnati, where she learned the things that she needed to know, met the people that she needed to meet in order to be able to write Uncle Tom's Cabin.
People who don't know their history are doomed to repeat those mistakes. We don't want to repeat any of our past mistakes. We want to do better for ourselves and for our friends and neighbors.
And that's why we're here. That people realize how much people of color, how many things people of color and minorities and women were exposed to and subjected to, having to fight for the American dream.
In 1943, when a group of local citizens got together and said, we want to create a memorial to Harriet and an African American cultural center using the Beecher family home, they spearheaded the effort to raise money, turn it into a historic site. Their ultimate goal was to create a lighthouse of goodwill and understanding.
This house, first of all, for me personally, has a special meaning because this is the community where my grandparents and cousins moved to and lived in when they first migrated from Georgia. But most importantly, beyond that, the broader significance is the history that resides in this house, which really put an eye and a focus on the ills of slavery.
This is a piece of history, and it's a piece of the Walnut Hills area history that we don't want to lose. There are too many of the older homes and areas in the city that are just torn down, replacing really important things and pieces of history that people need to know.
You know, the house has undergone so many changes over the last almost 2 centuries. But the building restoration taking place right now is important because they are taking the exterior of the building and making it appear as it did when Harriet's family lived here in the house. That work demonstrates or shows what the house looked like, and so people can get a better understanding or feel of what Harriet would have been looking at and experiencing when she spent time here as well.
Well before you get to this restoration phase that you see going on here, again, research. You really have to kind of figure out what you want to do, what is authentic, the way it was. For instance, we found that the house was originally painted. There was 2 layers of whitewash and then a white paint and then a yellow ochre. That's the color that it's going to be now. You know, I think houses like this are really a physical manifestation of history. A lot of times, you know, everything else about these people has disappeared, but the architecture.
Anytime you can shed light on any component of history and it broadens our horizon and educates us, the institution, the entity, the building, the organization is always paramount and always important. I think Harriet Beecher Stowe House plays a significant part in that.
The Harriet Beecher Stowe House restoration and site revitalization is an ongoing project. It's only made possible from our wonderful community of supporters. This is important work, and your donations really help make the work possible. Thank you.